Ziggy. Now, today we're making a dog bed for this girl right here because she loves pillows. But she wasn't being cooperative earlier, so we're baiting her with sausage. Oh, Rufus, come on. Good boy. This is what you're gonna need for the project. Two 2x4x8s, two 1x4x8s, an assortment of 1/4 inch hardware, and optionally one slip sheet or a thin piece of plywood. So we're gonna stack up the two 1x4s first, get those lined up, and then cut them at 31 1/4. And then do that again. You'll need 4 of them, all the same length. Then you'll have this little bit of extra wood. We're going to take that, set your saw at 45, and cut off some little triangles. Now you can use this to make a cute little sign or whatever you want next project, right? Throw that in the scrap bin. I'm using 2-inch 16 gauge brad nails, finish nails, trim nails, whatever you want to call them, to put this together. And you can use, drywall screws, whatever you got. So when you're shooting these, they have a little wedge, like it's cut this way. It's cut this way on the tip. It's really hard to see on camera. So when you're shooting them, if you shoot it in this way, then it will have a tendency to follow that wedge and kick out and blow out in this direction, not this way. So if you shoot your nail according to that, you will have less blowout, right? So like if your piece of wood and you're shooting like this, then your nail will blow out the side of your wood. Blow out, blow out. If you shoot this way, it'll go and it'll twist into the wood and you won't see it if it happens to hit a hard spot. It still might happen rarely, but it drastically reduces the chances of you misshooting if you turn your gun perpendicular to the grain. This is my gun. Nails sit inside there like that, right? So shooting it this way, you'll have blowout. Doing a kill shot like this, you maybe won't have so much blowout. Try it, see if it works. Okay, so we're gonna glue and screw this thing together. With nails, I'm not gonna screw it. And I made each one the same length, so what you're gonna do is you place this one here. The next one goes like that, and I'm exaggerating that so you can see it. Then the next one goes here, and then the next one goes here, so it wraps around itself. Can you see that? And then you can shrink this, kind of, right? So this is a huge exaggeration of what I'm talking about. You wrap it like that, but you line up the corners, right? So you don't have to worry about, oh, like cutting these ones, taking the width of these and taking it off, and then nailing it in this way. You just cut them all the same length and wrap it this way and nail each one in, and then it's a perfect square. A lot easier. So we're just going to glue it and nail each joint together, and then we're going to add these little triangles on the bottom here just as an extra little support, and then that will also make sure everything's square and hold it nice and sturdy. Now that that's done, this is the main frame of the bed. We're going to take the 2x4s, and you can make this whatever size you want. I just happen to make it roughly 32 inches. Right? So the idea is that a blanket will go over this and in between these two boards and clamp on. So we need the 2x4 frame to be bigger than the 1x4 frame, but also leave enough gap for a blanket. And that could be a sheet, it could be whatever you want. So we can make it tight, but not too tight. And then go from there. So same principle. Wow, that's really off. Let's try that again. Can you see me better now? Okay, so you take your 2x4, the 1x4 frame is done. We're going to take our 2x4 and line it up with the edge of that 1x4 frame. And then we have to add, hold on, get it right on, get it flush with the edge there. And then we have to add the thickness of one 2x4 to that length. And then you just mark it right there. So that mark, not this mark, that's how big the 1x4 frame is. That's how big we need 4 pieces. Just like that. Now the challenging part. How do we make this frame so that it's adjustable, so that you can put a variety of blankets on it after the dog tears up the first one, right? And you might be able to think of a different way to do this, but my way that I have thought of, that we'll see if it works, we're going to take 8 1/4 by 5-inch bolts, and we're going to bolt it together like that. So we have to drill a hole a little bit bigger than this shaft all the way through here, and then at the end where the threading is, we need a slot to be able to just drop a nut in there and keep it tight, and then suck that whole thing together. And then this 5 inches, it allows it to open up, you know, all the way to there, so that you can put a nice thick blanket on it. So let's drill some holes and see if it works. I really don't know if it's gonna work or not. Okay, this is the trickiest part of this whole build, drilling a straight hole through the end grain of a 2x4. So I've got this set up. I've got these drilled from the drill press, so I know that those are square and perpendicular to this board. I'm going to use these as a pilot hole to go into this, so the location will be correct and it'll guide my bit to be square and perpendicular and plumb, whatever you want to call it, to the 2x4. I have this clamped up with a drywall square, so everything's nice and square and tight. And then we're just going to start this very gently with everything properly lined up. Okay, but that's not deep enough yet because my drill bit's only so big. So I'm going to take this off. And then with the hole started, we can just keep following that same hole. That looks pretty straight. And we'll just go to maximum depth on that. Do that to all the boards, and then on to the next step. Doesn't too bad. Okay, so we got the nut in there, and then all you have to do is tighten it down, get something in there to hold it until it sucks down to the wall. And then once you get it tight, the first time, it'll hold in there, so it'll stay in there for good as you adjust it, so then you don't have to hold it every time. We're going to clean up these holes a little bit, stain this guy black, and put the whole thing together. So now we're going to take this piece of cardboard, also called a slip sheet, that you can get from basically any store that does packaging. Just go ask them for one. And we're using this just to hold whatever you want to fill it in with. You could also use thin plywood, whatever you want, or you could just leave it out. It's up to you. But I'm just going to quickly staple this on here. So you take your dog bed and you fill it up with whatever you got around the house that you don't want anymore. Pillows, extra blankets. Put that in there. Put that in there. Make them fit.
This one's not long enough.
Just fold it up. There we go.
I can't get this one to fit.
That's okay, it's close enough. Then you take your dog's favorite blanket.
And you put it.
Put that right over the top.
Oh. I'm getting to the bus port soon. Okay. Thanks.
And make it kind of loose so that they can grab and twist and, you know, play with it a little bit. Get that pretty much centered. It doesn't really matter. Then we're going to grab the frame and put it over top and make it tight. But it's not dry yet, so we're going to wait. So, all you got to do is go around, loosen up all the bolts just a little bit. Set this guy on top. I don't want to get it so loose that the bolts come out, because that would be a pain. Just being careful with it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Pull them through just a little bit. Keep it down. It's on the ground too. While I'm playing with it. There we go. See that down? And all you got to do is go around and tighten up the bolts. There you go. And then if you want to, because this is all one thing now, you can kind of tuck this extra blanket underneath, but you don't have to. Make it look nice. And there you go. One dog bed. See, it fits perfectly. And you can modify this for whatever size dog you have, and you know, change the design however you want. But basic dog bed that they'll love to sleep on. Right, Rufus? I guess not. You could leave out the pillows and just leave a lot of slack in the blanket, right? And see if the dog likes it. Bed's been here a couple days and Ziggy's finally used to the new spot. It's her new favorite spot to hang out. Ziggy, do you love it? Do you love it, Ziggy? Do you love it? You have to make her do it because she doesn't.
Come on. Come on. Okay, lay down. Here, lay down. Good girl. Rufus, go.
I don't want pink color. I love pink color.
I think she likes it. I can't really tell. Do you speak dog?
This is how I talk to animals.
Rufus is here. Hi, Rufus.
Dad, this is how I speak to animals.